Ooh, welcome back, my friends, all to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors. This is Choir Boys Outdoors K-Bar Collection rendition. Now, if you follow the channel, you know I like doing hard use reviews and using the knives and things like that. And I've got a ton of K-Bar reviews. But I thought I've never just showed y'all my collection. So let me show it to you. This is the Big Brother. It was designed in part by Doug Marcaida, the It Will Kill guy. It's based on the Filipino Forces knife. The Filipino military, a lot of those guys called Doug Big Brother, hence the name. This one just feels good in hand, and you're going to hear me say that. I don't care, man. As long as I have breath in my life, I will carry a K-Bar or have a K-Bar in my collection. I just love them. This one was donated or gifted to me by Joe. JS Bladecraft. I absolutely love it. It is their Tonto version. It is an absolute beautiful, gorgeous fighting knife. It just is. And here's the thing. I know all the stuff people say about them, and here's what I want you to understand. Here's my take on it. I don't give a shit. Not from a negative or trying to be an asshole. Guys, listen. Whether you like K-Bar or you don't, man, that's good for you. I've said this a million times. I'm not the QVC. I'm not going to be. If you buy it, great. If you don't, great. I just want to show you my collection. This knife for K-Bar, and this is the least favorite out of my collection. And John Stitt, the president of K-Bar, actually explained to me why it was. I got this from Kirk. I don't know if Kirk knows I got it or not, or he may have gave it to me. We swap knives so much and back and forth, and we live so close to each other, one winds up with the others quite often. This K-Bar, I think Kirk did give it to me. This K-Bar is hard to get an edge on and hard to keep an edge on. This K-Bar was given to me by WC Review. Big shout out to Will over there. Like Will a lot. He gifted me this. But I want to show y'all something. This is a memorial K-Bar, so I don't use it, and it's a gift, but I love the style. I love the aggressive. Now these knives, if you know anything about K-Bar, started off as hunting knives, and then they were adopted. The style was adopted in World War II, maybe even World War I, but I know in World War II, mass-produced, and then on through the ages. Here's the thing, and I'll use this as an example. See how, let me see if I can get it straight here. Yeah, let me make sure. Okay. It has everything to do with the bevel. See how the bevel ends abruptly here? And on this one, it rides all the way up. Like the choils here, you see, the fuller is here. You see that fuller. You see you have about, 3/16, maybe a 1/4 inch between the two here of flat. Here, the bevel rides all the way up to the fuller. John, when he was on with Blade Talk with Scab and Joe, and you can actually get a really good look there. When he was on with Blade Talk with Scab and Joe, that shorter bevel affects the geometry of the blade. Peterbilt Knife Guy will be ecstatic that I got geometry in there. These are fighting knives. They are. They call them combat utility knives. They bend. The stick tang thing people like or don't like. Listen, I can use a knife. I have over 500 knives. If it bothers you that bad, don't get one. This is just about my love of K-Bar and my collection. This one's my least favorite. I have no problem saying that. That said, I still enjoy the knife. I use this knife a lot for testing and different things, different demonstrations and things to see how they'll look, see how they'll work. This one, I just love in hand. I love the stacked leather. I love the way it feels. So, big shout out to WC Review. This is the BK2, right? This is a knife. Just kind of put them here. I'm going to burn all this up. This is the last you're going to be seeing of the stump. While I've got this here, let me pull out. I have 3 BK2s, okay? Standard BK2, this was the first one. I stripped the coating off of it. My background is in powder coating, sandblasting, liquid coatings, etc. I hate the coatings on the BK series. I always have, always will. Not a deal breaker for me because I take it off. This was a BK2 that I got from a guy. He didn't want it anymore. Had micarta handle scales on it. I said, yeah, I'll take it. And I'll tell you why. Now I've got to strip the coating off of it. I haven't had this one very long. But I'll tell you why I get these. I don't go camping anytime without at least one of these in my backpack for a couple of reasons. A lot of times my grandson will go with me, or my nephew goes with me, or somebody needs to borrow a knife. This is what you get to borrow. They're both sharp. They both do the job. But you're not going to screw them up. And if you do screw them up, you've done something really stupid with a knife. But I like having my BK2. That being said, I have a third BK2 that K-Bar actually sent to me. It's in Magna Cut. Same thing. They sent it plain Jane. John said, Scab, this one is a number 2. Would you like, or a second, would you like to check it out? I said, absolutely. Again, BK2, standard BK2. Now, probably what I'll do is take the micarta handle scales, or Lucas Carroll, I think, sent me a set of scales. I'm pretty sure he sent me some Becker scales. I'll put that on there, really dress this knife up. I've been working on the edge on this one. I want to get it thinned out. I love the BK2 platform. This is my third one. I love the platform, right? But I just want to have it a little thinner, a little sharper, put some scales on it, the ones at Lucas Carroll. And he's at Carroll's Custom Scales. I'm going to show you some of his work in a minute. But I'm a huge believer in the BK2 platform. I think it's a great starting knife, especially for a young person who maybe doesn't have a great skill set and might do a little more damage to a knife, or a kid that's just going to bang it around the campfire, or a grown man that acts like a kid. This one is part of the TDI series. It was made in Taiwan. This little thing here, now I've got its big brother. I couldn't find it. I just sharpened it up, so it's in there mixed up with my knives to be sharpened, or have been sharpened. But this bad boy right here, this is just a wicked little tool. Now, it comes with a Kydex sheath. Y'all know that I don't neck knife. I just don't, nothing against it. It's not my preferred carry. What I like to do with this is one of my pocket fixed blades. I'll put it through my belt, like this is my belt. I'll put it through there. I'll loop it through, let it hook on my belt, and typically ride it in my back pocket or my front pocket. People see the chain and think it's some kind of goofy chain wallet or something. I use this a lot. This is a blade that you use a lot around camp. Believe it or not, I found that I just sit around a lot of tasks I don't need a huge hawking blade for. If you want to go the self-defense route, which I know a lot of you love talking about that, you can do that. In fact, if you punch somebody, whip it through, there you go. Don't recommend it, you're going to jail. But this one, dope little knife. Dale King gave me this one, and its big brother. Let's see what we got left. Okay, so one of my all-time favorites. Now, my brother from another mother, Jacob Lamb, gave me this knife. The BK9, to me, is the godfather of the BK series. This is perfection, in my opinion, right? It's just full tame. It's a beast. It's a slicer. It's a dicer. I have a couple of hard use reviews on BK9. If you want to see any of my reviews, just type in Choir Boys Outdoors K-Bar, and they'll pop up. This one, if the other one was my least favorite, this one's in my top 2. It has to be. It's still sharp as shit. And again, I'll take the coating off. I just have to have time to do things. At some point, I will probably get me a good leather sheath or a good Kydex sheath. I don't mind the nylon stuff. Some people I'm in Florida, so it doesn't bother me as much. I need something durable, but I wouldn't mind doing like some kind of kick-ass Kydex with maybe a leather frog, or maybe just an all-leather sheath. God, I love this thing. Moving right along. I've got all kind of belt knives. This is a knife that I bought, and I know it's kind of redundant. What you'll notice with me with K-Bar is this. I have multiples of the ones I love, right? There is a reason for that. This knife I bought simply to test, simply to have on the internet, simply to put up on my channel. People bitch a lot about that stick tang. My advice to you is then don't have one. I mean, they've just come out with a full tang version, and please understand, I'm not trying to be a dick when I say that. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just saying, if it bothers you that much, or you can't use the knife, or you feel like you can't, then don't. But there's millions of people who do. I love everything about this damn knife. I love the way it feels in my hand. I love the stacked leather. I love the 1095 Crovan, which, by the way, they do a toothy edge on theirs. I love that. It's sharper that way. They've come out and did a lot of testing for this 1095, and I believe this is the old Sharon Steel company. I mean, decades ago. So it's an old steel. It's just a clean looking wicked knife. I love it. I'm going to show you my last two. Now, I will be adding. There's a couple I want out there, but I'll pick them up in due time. A lot of people come at me about the BK7. I've tried to like it. I'm just going to have to buy one and check it out. I'll pick it up, and I'm like, eh. And the thing is, it's the same blade thickness as the BK9. I don't know what it is. It's a mental block, but I need to have one. I've tested out the Harpoon. I don't have that in my collection, but I've tested it out. Great little knife. This is the Zomstro. This is my favorite K-bar for the money. I bought it off K-bar's website. I think it was $48. I don't know if it's still there. This is the one I wanted to show y'all with Lucas Carroll's handiwork. This is scales. These are custom scales from Lucas Carroll. Carroll's Custom Scales. I will put him in the description. If you use Scab, I think it's all uppercase, you get a 15% discount. I mean, this is the one that came with the green handle scales, and I got nothing against them. They put a pair of black ones. This thing is wicked. For $48, this might be the best K-bar make. Seriously. I mean, it can chop, it can slice, it can do whatever you need it to do. Now, I just released a hard use review on this one not long ago. I just love the knife. I'm thinking the hole here is simply to hang it up. It is a chopper. You get your, for $48, dude. I think I seen one on Amazon in the 80s. Even at the $80 price mark. A lot of people ask me, I get this question, is it worth it? You call that. You call that. I'm not here to say it is or it isn't. It is for me. Would I pay $100 for this? Yeah, I would, because I've used it. So if it's still on their website and it's still $48, and again, remember, I don't make anything off of it, but I'm telling you, just having one of these little hackers around your camp, especially if you're just like doing an overnight, or you're doing if you're doing a couple days. See, here in Northeast Florida, I don't need to take an axe or saw. I could take something like this, because we get so many of these little things everywhere. I can process up what I need. And if you needed to, you can do food prep. You can do whatever. That's why I like this knife. And it's just dope. Finally, another favorite of mine is this. It is the FA01 State and Union edition. Now, State and Union are two streets in Orleans, New York, where K-Bar is located. The FA01, and I've done a hard use video on it. G10 handle scales, S35VN. It was hollow ground, or it is hollow ground. It's just a dope little pocket knife. It's made in the USA. Yes, somebody had tried to tell me they don't make. Yes, they do. This is the first American-made K-Bar pocket knife in 50 years. They sent this to me to check out. Of all these knives that you've seen, I've bought every single one of them except this and the BK2 and Magna Cut. The one Kirk gave me, we've traded so much, I don't count that as a freebie. And then the other two. I've bought all of my little fighters. Let's see, WC Review gave me one, Jacob Lamb gave me one. I spent money on the rest. I've got a couple more I've got my eye on. Definitely be checking them out. Listen, K-Bar is an American company, right? Y'all don't hear me preach about American made, American made. I am a firm believer that this channel is not here to tell you where to spend your money. But if you're going to get something, if you want to get something for a buddy, here's the thing with K-Bar. Well, Scab, we're going to be surviving. Then they didn't plan properly. Okay? I know the mythical scenario of the zombie apocalypse and all that. If they got to survive and have a sharpened pry bar, get them one of the BK series. I believe in K-Bar. I just do. I love everything about it. And probably, you know what it probably is? You know what it probably is if we just cut the shit and everything? It's probably the nostalgia from being a kid, watching the John Wayne movies, the whole deal. You know? That's probably what it's from. Anyway, I love K-Bar. K-Bar loves me. There we go. I'm Scab, you're not, blah, blah, blah. let's do our causes, and I'm going to just kind of show them to you as we go. Guys, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, stats are everywhere. We're in the weekend. That means they're going to be higher, which sucks. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. Vets, we love you. Man, you're welcome here. You got a place here. That's what it means. People got it misconstrued up front. We're not a charity. We're not trying to be. We're not trying to portray ourselves as something we're not. I'm not a veteran. My wife is. My son is. I'm not. I just have a heart for veterans. Love everything about them. So you're welcome here. I back the blue. That is not a popular thing. I get it. But again, like everything else, I'm not here to convince you otherwise. It's something that's on my heart to do. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'm going to quit doing that so I don't mess that knife up. I believe they should be. I believe everybody should be held accountable for their actions. But I do support them. Finally, if you are an addict, and God knows I am, never quit quitting. Thank y'all for joining me. I've enjoyed this one. And it's just, I just love them, man. I'm Scab. You're not. Have a great weekend. Remember, I'm going to be watching all the videos from the sandwich slicing. We'll be making a decision tomorrow. Video should be out tomorrow or the next day. Fingers crossed for everybody. Good luck.